All right, let's get right into it. Today we're going to talk about a concept that might just completely change how you think about training, performance, and recovery. It's called the Kinetic Solvency model, and it all boils down to one simple but super powerful question. Are you actually building yourself up, or are you just training in debt?
And this quote, man, it just hits you, right? It gets right to the heart of the matter. The whole idea is that so many of us are constantly overdrawing our physical resources, basically borrowing from our future performance. And you know how loans work. Eventually, the bill comes due, and there's always interest.
You know, for as long as I can remember, we've all heard it. No pain, no gain. It's been drilled into us that the only way to get better is to push ourselves to the absolute brink, to total failure. But what if that whole idea is just wrong?
So check this out. This really lays out the two ways of thinking, side by side. On the left, you've got the old school approach. The body is a machine, and you just have to push it harder. But on the right, this is the game changer. The new model, Kinetic Solvency, says, no, your body isn't a machine, it's a bank. And that one little shift changes everything. It's not about pushing till you break, it's about training so you can recover.
Okay, so let's really unpack this. What does it actually mean to say your body is a bank? Well, it's pretty straightforward. It means you have assets, you have liabilities, and your overall performance really just depends on how well you manage your account.
And every bank needs a currency, right? Well, in this bank, the currency is something called biological capital. And listen, this isn't some fuzzy made-up concept. We're talking about real, tangible things, your energy levels, your hormonal state, the health of your tissues. And here's the kicker. It's a finite asset. You don't have an unlimited supply.
So, how does this play out in real life, day to day? Well, just like your actual bank account, every single thing you do is either a deposit or a withdrawal. The whole game is just managing your own personal kinetic economy by balancing that ledger. And this breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you have your withdrawals. These are the costs. Every intense workout, every bit of inflammation, that feeling of just being fried, that's a debit from your account. But on the other side, you've got your deposits. These are your investments, the stuff that builds you back up, like quality sleep, good food, and taking care of your body. That's how you put capital back in the bank.
So here is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you make sure you have more coming in than going out? How do you stay solvent? How do you stay in the black? Well, this is where the real strategy kicks in. The single most important term you need to get is maximum recoverable volume, or MRV for short. Think of this as your absolute ceiling. It's the maximum amount of training you can possibly handle and still bounce back from. Pushing past your MRV is literally like writing checks your body can't cash. It's just bad accounting. And honestly, if you take just one thing away today, let it be this right here. The goal is not to train to your maximum potential. It's to train to your maximum recoverable potential. It might seem like a subtle difference, but that shift in mindset, it's absolutely profound. We're not chasing one epic workout. We're chasing consistency. And that's the only path to real long-term progress. Which, of course, brings us to the dark side of this whole metaphor. What happens if you just ignore the balance sheet? What if you just keep making withdrawals day after day without putting anything back in? I mean, really think about that for a second. You're constantly pushing past your limits. You're skimping on sleep. Your nutrition is kind of a mess. You are just running a massive deficit all the time. What's the inevitable outcome? Biological bankruptcy. This is such a powerful way to reframe things. See, in this model, an injury isn't just bad luck. It's not an accident. It's a predictable consequence of mismanagement. It's your body's version of a foreclosure. It's forcing you to stop because you've been spending resources that you simply do not have.
So, how do we prevent this catastrophe? The answer is to completely flip our perception of rest. It is not weakness. It is not laziness. It is pure strategy.
For way too long, we framed this as a moral issue of laziness versus hard work. This model just throws that whole idea out the window. It's not about being good or bad. It's about smart economics. You're no longer lazy for taking a day off. No, you are a savvy investor making a smart financial decision for your future.
This is the new mindset. Rest isn't passive. It is an aggressive and strategic investment in your future. Every good night's sleep, every good meal, every recovery session, that's you actively depositing capital into your account. And that's what gives you the resources you need to make bigger withdrawals and see bigger gains down the road.
So we're going to end right where we started, with that one big question. And it's something I want you to ask yourself, honestly, after every single training session. Take a good, hard look at your own biological ledger. Are your actions leading you towards debt and bankruptcy? Or are you making the smart investments needed to build true, sustainable kinetic wealth?